This program was pre-recorded.
You've entered the Fletch Nation with Roy Fletcher, political analyst and socio-political prophet, and Kevin Gallagher, TV and podcast host and opinionated jackhole. So settle in, grab a beverage. It's time to talk some politics. It's Fletch Nation. Now here are the boys.
And here we are once again, coming to you from the Old School Barbecue Smokehouse on Coursey Boulevard in the state's capital, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We thank them for their hospitality.
This is our 7th show, huh, Kevin?
This is episode 7.
Before we start, I want to shout out to somebody who cut my hair.
Yeah? I can tell you got your ears lowered, man.
She always cuts my hair. But I've gotten
What's her name again?
Ann James.
Ann James.
Ann James Beauty Salon here in Baton Rouge. She's done a lot of movie stars and stuff. And I'm just a regular customer. And she cut my hair, and a lot of people complimented me on it. Now, I had to pay for that. So this is not some kind of freebie, some kind of trade-off. I just wanted to tell Ann how much I appreciate it, because I got one compliment from one person that really mattered to me. So that was nice.
Well, and a nice haircut, man. At least for that first 3 or 4 days, you just feel like,
you're looking good.
Yeah, man, I'm styling.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Me, on the other hand, having a bad hair day, and it's raining, hail Columbia outside, so...
The hat. Hence the hat. Hence the hat.
Sorry.
So Kevin, here's the way we're going to go. I want to deal with the primaries first, but I want to deal with the big story second, which is the Kansas primary.
Okay.
Okay, but I want to deal with, in the first segment, what happened in the primaries around the country last night, because there was a lot of big stuff that went down. And we're still waiting on some whether or not Kari Lake won in Arizona. Mm-hmm. I think she will. I think that's kind of headed in that direction. She's got about a 12,000 vote lead in the Republican primary. And we already know Tudor Dixon has won in the state of Michigan primary. Now, there will be 2 governor's races next year. Actually, be 3, but 2 of them will be in really, really critical states. Well, the third one is too, but I want to deal with 2 of them. Michigan and Arizona. That is going to be Gretchen versus Tudor, okay, or Tudor versus Gretchen, because Gretchen, whatever her name is, I won't say it, is the incumbent.
Gretchen Whitmer?
Yep.
That's the, yeah.
Yeah, she's the one that called in the FBI for the sting operation that they messed up and couldn't entrap people in. You remember that
I
one?
Remember, yeah. They were going to kidnap her, right?
Yeah. So, and the guys were found innocent. But so we have that race, and then in Arizona, it looks like we're going to have Corey versus I can't and I have it written down here. Can't remember the lady's name out there, but the Democrat. Mm-hmm. But in both of those races, there will be 4 women running for governor. 4.
Wow.
There will be 2 states will be women. Nobody's talked about this yet, but I find that really fascinating. There's a 3rd state, Georgia, and it has 1 woman in it.
Stacey Abrams.
Stacey Abrams, which I couldn't remember her name last week. But the point of it is that you see what is happening, and these are women that will end up with a great deal of executive experience, and in the process, and it's not unheard of in Michigan and Arizona to have a woman governor. In Michigan, they have one already, Gretchen
Whitmer. Yeah.
Whitmer Haversack. And then in Arizona, they had Jan Brewer before the current governor, Ducey, I think is his name. But the point is that you can see the path now to a presidency for a woman pretty clear. All of these women are gaining extraordinary experience, executive level experience, whoever wins these elections. And I just thought that was, I think it's a fascinating thing that's happening in America.
Can I make an observation?
Yeah, please.
It seems to me that in general speaking, the Democratic Party does more to support female candidates for big offices than I observe the Republican Party doing. The Republican Party still seems to be kind of a boys' club.
I tend to disagree with that.
Okay.
I do. I tend to disagree with that because I think that you have seen since Trump, you have seen a real rise in conservative women in the Republican Party. And some of them very, very, very out front, particularly Margie, the lady out of Georgia. And then there's a number of other ones that, so I don't know. I think it's kind of a mixed bag on that for both parties. But it's clear now that in these two states, Republican women have a chance to elect 2 governors, which would be interesting. And the Democrats do as well. But let's turn to the primaries. Michigan. We have an interesting thing that happened in Michigan besides Tudor Dixon, which is the story up there. But there was just a bigger story in the congressional race. Peter Mayer, who I think that's the way you say his name, was an incumbent congressman who voted for impeachment of the president. And he was defeated last night by a gentleman by the name of Gibbs. The Democrats spent a fortune on trying to elect Gibbs in the Republican primary. They wanted him to win the primary. But Gibbs, interestingly enough, is an African American. By the way, in the state of Arizona, there is another pro-Trump candidate named Mark Finchem, who is now going to be the Republican candidate for Secretary of State. And guess what he is? African American.
Interesting.
And in the state of Georgia, we know that we have Herschel Walker, who's running for the U.S. Senate, African American. So what Trump has done, it seems to me, in terms of his impact on the party, is to broaden the base of this party to some extent, reaching out to minorities and Hispanics and so on and so forth,
and women,
to bring them into the fold, as they say, just as long as they're conservatives. It's Hobbs. There's the Democratic candidate in Arizona that'll be up against, we think, Corey Lake. Okay, we're not certain. That was an interesting outcome last night. It's not outcome, it's not over yet. Apparently, vote counting's not over. But Robertson was the candidate of Mike Pence and sort of the establishment of the party. And Lake was the candidate of the Trump outliers. And Lake was able to win the race, but it's been dicey for her. Been very dicey. Although she had a big poll lead, it's been dicey. Now Blake Masters, another Trump candidate, won in Arizona and is the U.S. Senate candidate out there to take on Mark Kelly, who you raised an issue a moment ago about Mark Kelly and the wall.
The wall.
What's happening in Yuma? They're patching the wall. They're filling it in.
If you don't think that Biden suddenly being interested in finishing that wall in Arizona has to do with Mark Kelly wanting another term in office.
Come on. It's
save that seat.
Save that seat and forget what you told anybody about anything, and forget what's going on in Texas with a swarm coming over.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
We're going to take a break, and we'll be back. We're going to finish up on the primaries, and then we're going to Kansas.
Fletch Nation coming right back. Stay right there, please.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hello, Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
At the Team Automotive Group, we're offering you the Team Guarantee on new and used vehicles. Included with every new vehicle is a lifetime limited powertrain warranty. And now, get a 90-day warranty on the purchase of a pre-owned vehicle. Get the Team Guarantee at every location of the Team Automotive Group.
Visit Treads & Care Tire Company's new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for over 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair and top-notch customer service.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Caught spiders?
Premier Pest Services.
We're back to Fletch Nation. Thank you so much. As we are recording this program, it is Wednesday, August the 3rd, very rainy day. Ooh. And Roy, I just want to take a minute and say that having lived through the great flood of 2016 here in the capital area, my heart really goes out to the folks in Kentucky because some of them saw the same kind of epic flooding, that loss of life, loss of property, loss of homes.
30 people up to now that has died from it, much less all of the property and disaster.
And once again, our Louisiana Cajun Navy is up there in Kentucky.
Up there doing their business.
What aid they can.
Well, I hope I don't have to come back to Louisiana because it has been raining some. And the radar tells us there's more to come. Yep. So we'll see. So Kevin, last night, the big story, I think, out of last night was what came out of Kansas. There was on the ballot there an opportunity to sort of enshrine the right to reproductive choice, abortion, in the Kansas Constitution. The Kansas Supreme Court had ruled earlier that it was a component of the Kansas Constitution based upon some language about the Declaration of Independence and natural rights. Mm-hmm. And so the legislature, the Kansas legislature, was going to take it upon themselves to say, to go ahead and restrict abortion in Kansas and do the things that normal kind of situation that right to lifers would do. Mm-hmm. But they preempted and put a ballot initiative up, and it basically said, you know, you have, it's a constitutional right in Kansas to be able to get an abortion. And it won 2-1. Okay, it beat, that's not, in politics, that's not winning. That's an ass kicking. Yeah. Okay? And Kansas is a very Republican state.
I was just going to say, it's the breadbasket of the nation, et cetera, and usually very conservative. Yeah,
it is a solidly Bob Dole kind of Republican state, okay? And so there's a lot of talk this morning and a lot of spin last night and today about what does the 2-1 victory mean for. Now, the spin seems to be is that we're going to have a Roe wave in November, a Roe wave, that the Democrats are going to benefit from this tremendously. On the other hand, the argument is no, the Republicans will be fine with this and they'll get through this. I want to make a couple of comments about that. Mm-hmm. One is, I think that yes, there could be a Roe wave, but I don't believe that it's I don't believe that's what's going to occur. I think what happened in Kansas, and there was a really significant turnout there. People were energized. But I think what happened in Kansas is exactly what the Supreme Court said this would do, which is in your state, you decide. People got very energized about it. They went out to vote. And guess what happened? They surprised everybody. They surprised everybody. They said, no, we want to keep this constitutional, we want to keep it in the state constitution of Kansas. We want this constitutional right. And that is going to happen in 50 states. And there will be many states that agree with Kansas and some that don't. But what it does is that it makes a certain amount of agreement, of a finality to the situation. The people have spoken in the state of Kansas. They have spoken. There's no argument over some Supreme Court decision in Washington, D.C. They have spoken. It is enshrined. And that's going to happen in state after state after state. And that's what's supposed to happen.
Should it happen here? I mean, we have an anti-abortion law still being debated, but for now it's back in effect. But should the people ultimately get to decide this?
I think that is the only way to make this decision in a legitimate way, is to let people to decide for themselves what the deal is. In the state of Louisiana, there's constitutional provisions and so on and so forth that's not amenable to that. But the fact is that that's ultimately the way to do it. But I'll tell you what it does to Louisiana. And I had this feeling going into this. What these laws that were passed by the legislature and that the Attorney General is trying to protect, what these laws were, they were far too onerous. They were far too to the right. I'm going to say it that way. They were far too onerous. They did not grant rape, incest, and life of the mother, medical reasons, as exceptions to the general rule.
Yeah, and people argue there's no compassion there.
And I don't think the majority, by any stretch of the imagination of Louisiana, is on the far left or the far right on this issue. I do not believe that. And I never did believe that because I've seen too much polling about it. But when people are confronted with the decision, this is what happened in Kansas. People were confronted with a decision. How am I going to vote? What they do in that situation is they figure out what their self-interests are, and then they go and vote. And they made a decision there, and it was a clear decision. It was not any other way but to say it. It was a clear decision. And that's what democracy is supposed to do. When you get a fiat from the Supreme Court of the United States that says, this either you have the right or you don't have the right, guess what? That doesn't do anything but make people angry. But when they have the chance to make the decision and go and vote and do the things, that is the democratic part of our democratic republic. Okay? States, federalism, we got representatives in Congress and our state legislatures. But ultimately, there comes a time, there comes a place where people have to talk, where people have to say, this is what we want you to do. And in the case of Kansas, that's what they decided. I don't agree, but that doesn't matter. The fact is that if I was a citizen of Kansas, I may not agree, but I got to tell you, I learned to live with it because that's what 2 out of 3 people in Kansas want. Mm-hmm. Okay, I would have to recognize it. And the same kind of principle should apply here. But at least what we will get out of this, I think, is some sense of moderation.
Let's see, you're never going to satisfy the people who are very polar on this issue. They're radically pro-life or radically pro-choice. You're never going to satisfy them. But there's got to be somewhere to meet in the middle.
There has to be. There has to be. And this vote in Kansas, I think, pushes people to some extent toward that middle. And it should push people to some extent toward actually having legitimate initiatives or referendums on this issue in their states. And not play games with it, but let people vote the way that they feel.
That's the process. That's America. That's the way it's supposed to be.
It's not very much in every state, but you know what? It's time for that kind of governance to take effect to some extent on a particular issue like this. That's what the Supreme Court said. We don't recognize the right, the states will have to decide. Once you do that, it forces people to have to vote or to have to lobby or to have to do the things they do. And with the outcome, they can be at least satisfied that they had a say.
And with that, we're going to take another pause, take care of a little bit of business, and we will be back. We have part 2 of our conversation with John Carmouche coming up late in the show. If you missed it last week, you don't want to miss it. We're going to replay it for you. That's coming up on Fletch Nation.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing.
You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
The Mazda CX-50. Confident on- and off-road performance. An intelligently designed utility inside and out.
The all-new Mazda CX-50 has arrived and is on sale right now at Team Mazda on Airline.
Hi gang, Clarence Buggs here, inviting you to come by Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard, where we tape the show live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 11 o'clock. Come by and feast on news, sports, current events, love of God and country, and lots of common sense, along with some of the best barbecue anywhere on the planet. 10655 Coursey Boulevard, Old School Barbecue, home of the Clarence Buggs Show.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Back with Fletch Nation. He's Roy Fletcher, and I am Kevin Gallagher. And Roy, you mentioned going into the break. Let's talk about it. Former House Speaker Newt Gingrich calls this the Democrats' higher tax, bigger IRS, more inflation bill. Not an inflation reduction.
It's the inflation reduction bill.
That's Kevin. What they call it, the inflation reduction.
So the reason we're talking about this is because one Mr. Joe Manchin, the senator from West Virginia, caved.
Oh yeah, big time.
But we're still waiting on Miss Cinnamon, I like it called Cinnamon, Senator Cinnamon from Arizona to tell us if it's going to pass or not. Okay? But
does it really come down to her just being the swing vote on this thing?
I think I think that we just might be there, Kevin. I'm not certain, but I think we just might be there. The fact is that this bill is not the Inflation Reduction Act. It's Build Back. What'd you call it?
Build Back Biden is what I call it.
As
Build Back
opposed to
Biden bill.
As opposed to Build Back Better.
2.0.
Yeah, 2.0. And there's a reason for that it would be hopefully Build Back Biden for those folks on the Democratic side, which is because he's at about 36, 37 approval rate.
Right.
Yeah, so, you know, that's an interest. I'm going to deal with that in a minute. But there's so much going on, I can't keep my mind on one thing. But the fact is, this bill taxes adds $738 billion in new taxes.
There's a 15% reduction in corporate tax. 15%
minimum
increase in corporate taxes.
Right, it's a minimum tax of 15% on corporations. But here's the problem, folks. I just want to tell you this. It's kind of like gasoline. Corporations don't pay taxes. They pass taxes along.
Mm-hmm.
To whom do they pass it to?
Why, the little guy.
To you and to me. And to you, folks. They don't pay taxes. So when they say a 15% minimum tax, they're telling you you're going to pay 15% more. By the way, in the bill is a tax on imported oil that will add 16.5 cents to every gallon of gas in America that is produced with imported oil. Now, where did Biden go the last couple of weeks?
He went over to
fist bumped the
Saudis, man.
Yeah, he fist bumped the Saudis. So they're not interested in domestic oil. They're interested in imported oil, which means they just stiffed you out of 16.5 cents a gallon for imported oil that they're going to be using more and more of. That's what happened. This is the Inflation Reduction Bill. By the way,
this is the spend you into submission bill.
By the way, corporations have these write-offs where then they invest in capital equipment and heavy equipment, things like that. Well, guess what? They're going to do away with those write-offs. So guess who's going to pay for that?
Consumers.
Then we have another little aspect of the bill. 80,000 new what, Kevin?
IRS agents.
IRS agents, just in case you don't like the 16.5 cents, the 15%, or whatever else you're having to pay, we got an IRS agent exclusively for you. They'll just come to your house and sit down with you and explain what you're doing wrong.
Yep.
Just in case. And just in case if you're making any money, they're not going to like that. Because what you think they're going to fill the IRS up with?
Your money.
Ideologues.
Yep.
It's a jobs program. It's a jobs program.
When people talk about the deep state, that's what they're talking about, is that these agencies, these entities that survive from administration to administration, they don't have a change of the guard. Maybe the guy at the top, the secretary, but they don't have a change of the guard.
Not downstairs, no. So, what we depend on is that they will be professional and not political. We have seen that that is not the case, at least with certain acronym agencies out of the Department of Justice and so on and so forth. Yep. Just saying. Now, there's another aspect to the bill that wasn't in the bill. This is Joe Manchin. He made a side deal. He got him a side deal made, Kevin. And it's for energy. And he's going to deregulate the permitting process. He's going to open that up. They said, Schumer told him, we're going to do all of that, just like Trump was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Except, Joe, we can't have it in the bill because this is a reconciliation bill, so it's going to have to pass separately. In other words, Joe, we're going to get to vote against your bill as a party and get your vote on our bill as a party. That's what just happened. Joe Manchin got snonked.
He got played.
He got played. What
was it John Kennedy used to call it? A good old-fashioned rookie dude.
Yeah, rookie dude. That's what Bubba Henry once called it. I never forget. McKithen had passed some taxes, and Bubba Henry took the floor as a young freshman legislator. He became later Speaker of the House in Louisiana. And he told everybody gentlemen, we have been rookie dude. I always loved that line. But anyway, that's memory to E.L. Bubba Henry, one of our great speakers in Louisiana. But so that's what comes out of this thing. More taxes, more spending, more federal employees, more government intrusion, and a side deal for Joe Manchin. And Joe's just trying to help coal up in West Virginia and all. Yeah, we're just trying to help all too. But coal, you know what's happening in the world while these people are talking about this, how this is going to change global warming? Because that's the other part of the deal. It's all a bunch of global warming.
Oh yeah, climate change. We're fixing it.
But you know what's happening in the world? Coal usage is going up dramatically all over the world. And in America, we don't even want to use American oil, natural gas, much less coal. So while we sitting over here taxing the hell out of us, the rest of the world is on a binge now with coal and CO2 and all that garbage. Does this make any sense?
No.
It makes none.
No.
None. Absolutely no sense whatsoever. But here we are, folks. And what you're going to get out of this is just more taxes and more government messing with you, and more people working at the IRS.
You'll be bringing home less of your paycheck.
Yep.
And you'll be paying more for everything.
And before we have to pay more for everything, we've got to go to a break. So stick with us, and we can be back and do whatever we're going to do. Hang in there.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with the Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
Hi, I'm Katie, Operation Manager here at Old School Barbecue. We're excited about all of the changes here at Old School, and we'd like to invite everyone to come out and enjoy some delicious barbecue at Old School prices. We feature brisket, chicken, ribs, sausage, and the Boss Hog pulled pork sandwich voted best deal in town. We also have live music Friday and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. 10655 Coursey Boulevard. We can't wait to see you.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Fruget Jr., and I am a general dentist at Fruget Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
At the Team Automotive Group, we're offering you the Team Guarantee on new and used vehicles. Included with every new vehicle is a lifetime limited powertrain warranty. And now, get a 90-day warranty on the purchase of a pre-owned vehicle. Get the Team Guarantee at every location of the Team Automotive Group.
Caught spiders?
Services.
Back to Fletch Nation. Roy, we were talking about the IRS a few minutes ago, and during the commercial break, I jumped to this, and so I went and did a quick Google search, and yeah, it's confirmed. The Internal Revenue Service bought nearly $700,000 in ammunition.
$700,000
in the
or
earlier
700,000 rounds?
No, $700,000 they spent. But what does the IRS need $700,000 in ammunition for? I mean, I know that Treasury agents sometimes carry a gun.
Yeah,
but $700,000 will buy a lot of rounds of ammunition. They said the ammunition
I know,
was mostly...
Kevin, you're going to be accused of a conspiracy.
Well, the ammunition was mostly for 9mm pistols, but also a great deal of ammunition for AR-15
Oh, you mean
rifles.
the IRS has AR-15s?
They've got fully automatic rifles.
Oh, wow. I didn't know. I mean, that's military style weapons. I mean, we shouldn't have...
That's only designed for one thing, to kill a man. So what does the IRS need it for?
No, it's not true. But
that's the narrative. The narrative is, that's for to kill a man.
That's what they say. That's what they say. Okay, so the IRS going on a killing spree. Is that what you're trying to tell me? These new 80,000 agents, what are they going to be doing? I don't know.
Pay your taxes, no?
I don't want to get into that conspiracy stuff. Okay. So here's what's not conspiracy. Yesterday in the paper in Baton Rouge, a story about the home insurance rates in Louisiana are going through the roof.
Yes.
And people are going to have real problems affording the insurance, and when they can't afford the insurance, what do you do with your home? And so, I mean, there's going to be all kinds of things with it. And finally, the insurance commissioner has decided this might be an emergency. When did Ida hit? 2 years ago? Was it a year ago? 2 years ago.
What?
And then Ida, the hurricane
Ida was last fall.
Yeah, and then there was one before it too, right?
Well, the year before we had two bad hurricanes in Southwest Louisiana.
So all of a sudden, these insurance things becoming a crisis. They were a crisis before, but nobody wanted to talk about it. Now these insurance companies are getting out of here and dumping on homeowners and carrying their money with them. Okay?
Which means that those homeowners, most of them had no choice but to go to the state-run insurance company, Louisiana Citizens, which is by law priced above the private market.
If the insurance company's got money, they ought to be paying it, and they ought to pay it till they go broke.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
By the way, the other thing the insurance commissioner is going to ask for is he's going to ask for a chunk of the federal money that's coming in to serve as an incentive fund.
Yeah, about $600
to attract new insurance companies to come to Louisiana.
About $600 million, right?
I don't have a dollar figure.
I don't know how much it is.
But he said it worked after Hurricanes Katrina and Rita. Well, it did. It wasn't a huge success, but it worked.
We'll see. But by the way, here's another one. I'll give it to you. In the state of California, Geico shut down its whole operation. 38 branch offices, they shut everything down. They said, we out of here. Geico, they couldn't even keep the salamander over there. The gecko, they couldn't keep him in California. That's how bad their business is. Their regulations are so punitive and so terrible that an insurance company like Geico just picked up and left.
Geico is probably one of the top 3 auto insurers, and they write a tremendous amount of property insurance.
I mean, so now, Kevin, those are kind of pick-me-ups there, but let's just go to something that's not a pick-me-up for a couple of minutes, and that is the issue of we have a speaker over.
I wondered if you wanted to talk about that today.
Wandering around Asia, East Asia, and decided to go to Taiwan, and the president was against it, and then the Chinese made a big cahoot about it, and she ended up going, staying a couple hours, and getting the hell out of there. Now they got basically Taiwan surrounded, an embargo on the sea and air. What do you think she was doing? I'm going to give you my idea in a minute, but what do you think she was doing?
Well, again, I don't want to get off into conspiracy theories.
But I'll go, please.
I just don't think that Mrs. Pelosi has the best interests of America or the American people at heart. Let's just end there.
You know?
I don't believe it, not in my heart.
Well, it's interesting, correlated with her going to Taiwan yesterday was her husband's hearing yesterday on the DWI and apparently a substance that he had in his system that wasn't alcohol in his wreck. But I don't think that was it. He does a lot of business in East Asia.
Yes, he does.
In Asia.
He does a lot of business with chip manufacturers, and guess where they are?
Yeah, the Chinese. And except now we just put $256 billion into subsidizing that industry in America, which they're already making. But that's beside the point. I mean, does this have anything to do with his personal business? Would she be over there cementing relationships if she gets kicked out of speakership so her husband can make money? Yes, I think so. I think I think we can all agree that probably is not too far to what we've used to, is it?
I think that ego and hubris is the hallmark of the speaker.
Yeah,
that's my personal opinion.
So then now I want to change the subject to, speaking of ego and hubris, to talk about the left fascination and their absolute being owned by a human being. The spin off of these elections, if you read it over the last 2 days in these columns, is nothing but about one Mr. Donald John Trump. All they can write about is Donald Trump. He's losing his grip on the party. He's not as powerful as he was. This was a bad thing for Trump. That's all they write about. They can't write about anything else but that. If Trump died tomorrow, God help us, if Trump died tomorrow, and I pray he does, but if he died tomorrow, the press business would not have anything to write about. Except maybe I guess they would change to Ron DeSantis, right?
Right, they would shift their focus to Ron DeSantis, the worst thing since Adolf Hitler.
Because they already called him Ron DeSatan.
To Satan.
Yeah, Ron DeSatan. So I guess they would shift to him. But he's not nearly as good as Trump. He don't have the
He's not as
gravitas.
Interesting.
Yes, interesting as Donald Trump. I have never in my life seen people so they can't let it go. They can't let it. And they say that this Mark Fincham out in Arizona, who runs Secretary of State, African American man, he's a Trumpite. And he says, oh no, the election was stolen in 2020. And there's a couple more around the country like him. And Politico writes, oh my God, this is disaster because these are election officials and they will only be interested in not having fair elections and honest elections, but in securing the president's pipe dreams.
Pipe dreams?
About 2020. I think that, no, just shut up. It's just stupid. Just, get on to something else. Look, people will decide what's best for them. No matter what you write about it, they're going to decide what's best for them.
Roy, I've said this for years, and I know you've heard me say it before, but the thing about Democrats is they will always talk incessantly about what they're most frightened of.
Yeah.
And they're frightened to death of Donald Trump and the people that are moved by him. They're scared to death of it.
Well, so is the establishment of the Republican Party.
Time for us to take another break, take care of some business. When we come back, we're going to revisit part 2 of our ongoing conversation with Coastal Attorney John Carmouche. That and more when we return from the Old School Barbecue Smokehouse on Coursey Boulevard in Baton Rouge. This is Fletch Nation on the Pelican.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystonecountryClub.com.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With private healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Tremonti's has meat. Tremonti's has seafood. Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats. The flavor says it all.
Treads & Care Tire Company announces its new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair with top-notch customer service. Treads & Care offers the convenience of shuttle service and pickup and delivery of your vehicle. You can also enjoy the comfortable customer area, complete with workstations, high-speed internet, and a complimentary coffee bar.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
Treads & Care, the tires you need and the service you want.
We're back with Fletch Nation, and we thank you so very much for the time you spend watching this program, whether you catch it here on the broadcasts on Pelican Broadcasting, maybe you catch it on YouTube, on the Pelican Broadcasting YouTube page, or you see our Facebook posts on the Fletch Nation Facebook page.
Or you catch it on radio.
On what?
On radio.
Yeah. I keep forgetting we're on.
I know.
Right now, 7 radio stations across Louisiana, including Cape Bell and Lafayette, and Talk 107.3 here in Baton Rouge. But if you've been watching the program, you know that we've been having a series of conversations with Coastal Attorney John Carmouche. The state of the coast and the effects, the impacts of the oil and gas industry are undeniable, and this is something he's very, very concerned about. So in case you didn't miss it, or you didn't catch it last week, let's go back for a replay. This is part 2 of our conversation with John Carmouche, coming right at you.
Well, welcome back. We're with John Carmouche, a well-known coastal and environmental lawyer in Louisiana, a land lawyer. And we've been talking about sort of your past and your education and what sort of brought you to the fight for the coast of Louisiana. There's bigger issues, though, it seems, John. There's a new poll out by the New York Times over the weekend, the Siena poll, Siena College poll, that had 13% of the country in a good mood about the direction of the United States. What do you think about the direction of our country?
I think it's going in the wrong way. I mean, it's too divided, Roy. Too much politics. I grew up in a political family, but also grew up believing in the real world. And I think we've lost the touch of actually working together and putting politics aside. You can have your views, and I believe in strong conservative views myself as a Republican, but I also believe in a real world working together. I give the example that, we show up at work every day. There's so many businesses in Louisiana that are huge and making a large difference in Louisiana. They show up to work every day to work together as a business. They don't show up every day to say, are you a Republican, Democrat, Independent? They show up every day, they work together, and they accomplish huge things in Louisiana. But it just seems like as soon as you turn on the political TV,
when you walk in the state capitol,
it's politics. And everybody forgets that Louisiana needs to be run like a business. And to do that, you have to work together. And I think we've lost that in this state.
I can't think of a way to get it back either. But the fact is that the point that you're making is that it's a necessity.
It's an absolute necessity. This state needs to turn in the direction of working together as a business to bring businesses here and to grow the economy and bring our kids back.
Well, you bring up the economy. I mean, what do you think of the general direction of Louisiana and our economy in Louisiana is right now?
It's terrible. I mean, we're in the 21st century and we're running this state like it's 1950. It's time to change. It's time to be pro-business. It's time to bring our kids back and make them want to come back. And right now, we need dramatic change on education. We need a dramatic change on how we deal with businesses. We need to bring the oil industry back. I mean, everybody says I'm against the oil industry. I'm not against the oil industry.
We talked about that last week. I mean, you're quite the opposite, correct?
I am the opposite because I believe in if we zero out the liability, we can bring back.
You mean the sort of the coastal liability?
Clear the coastal liability, clean up this state, and make them want to come back. And we can bring the oil industry back. We have to make the dramatic change in this state that we've needed for a long, long time, and not just because of the oil industry.
That's one of the things that you have talked about that's so different, and that is, for right now, for the Biden administration had taken the position that the 5-year plan on offshore drilling, they're just not even going to bring it up anymore. They're not going to discuss it. On the other hand, you've taken the position if you clean up the coast and the liability gets cleaned up, then what you want is an industry that can drill and manufacture and produce, and the liability be gone.
Not only the liability be gone, but there are great operators in the state of Louisiana today. And there are great operators that want to come here in Louisiana.
In the oil and gas industry.
In the oil and gas industry. Yeah. And get our industry and our people back to work and do it the right way.
Yeah.
And that's the key, is do it the right way, bring them back, grow the economy with zero liability, and let's move on.
One of the things that has been discussed in the last couple of weeks, Governor Ducey of Arizona has passed what they call the most Education Freedom Choice Act in the country, where basically the money follows the student rather than going to the county or the school board or what. It follows the student. Wherever the student goes, whatever school the student decides to go to, the money follows. When you say dramatic change from Louisiana in education, that would be something that you'd want to look at, I would assume, huh?
Definitely. I mean, I have to study it, but my position on education is we have to get our kids to want to stay here. And our education, it needs a dramatic change in how we educate our kids, because our kids have to want to be educated. You can't make and force these kids to do something they don't want to do. So there's a lot of things that look at trade schools and getting these kids to be educated on the jobs we have for them in Louisiana. And
market sensitive.
Yeah. And make this a state where we promote working here, not promoting outside of the state.
Right.
So I think all of those programs are great programs to look at, and definitely the state of Louisiana needs a change in education.
But you would say that if you're not teaching the basics and doing the basics, reading, writing, and arithmetic, you're not really accomplishing much, are you?
Correct.
Yeah, that's the kind of dramatic change Louisiana needs. We have a couple of things that I kind of call it the quick round, and we'll go ahead and get into a little bit of that. You give me quick answers to questions that people ask. One is like, you say you're a Republican. What's your position like on the Second Amendment?
I'm for it, Roy.
I mean, that's pretty much says it all right there. You're for it, you know. What about immigration, illegal immigration, and that sort of thing?
I'm for building the wall. I'm for keeping them out. This is the United States of America, and as long as you legally come here, then I think you should go through the process.
I got you. So now, John, if I've taken my cue properly, we can now go to a break, and we'll be back in a moment. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
There we go. Crap. And we're back. Let me call you back. Bye.
Once again, we thank John Carmouche for the time and the access, and we have part 3 coming up. We should run that maybe one more time, part 2.
I think so, yeah, one more time. And then we'll have part 3 coming up, yeah.
Lots more fascinating stuff with John Carmouche on the program.
I like the little series. But anyway, and we'll do some more with other people, you know? But Kevin, by the way, Bill McGuire, who in the Globe, it's a British Globe newspaper.
Yes.
Bill McGuire is the head of some really big at London College, and he's retired now. He's a geologist and physics guy and all, PhD, and really one of the noted authorities. By the way, he said in the Globe yesterday or day before yesterday that the world is past time. It's going to burn up. It's over.
Oh, you're talking about climate change?
Yeah, we're too late. And I'm
gonna drill.
I'm going to take him at his word. Then let's just lower these prices. Let's drill the oil. Let's lower these prices.
Exactly.
And let's party like it's 1999. Okay?
Exactly. I mean, if it's too late now, then
it's
what
too
the
late
hell?
now, boys. I'm sorry. I can hear the libs go, this guy shouldn't have said that. This guy shouldn't have said that. Right?
Yep. Well, you know, there's some liberal-minded people who enjoy this program, so they can sit back and laugh at you and me, and I guarantee you that as they listen to this right now, probably veins are sticking out on the side of their head.
Yeah, I mean the guys that actually
drill,
said,
baby, drill.
The world's ending, and you know, I mean, oh my God, the world's over with, and well, okay, fine. Let natural gas and oil, let's use it and let's rock and roll, babe. Mm-hmm. You know, and if we're gonna burn up, let's burn up on I-20 headed toward Las Vegas.
Yep.
You know, whatever.
There's a meme that's been going around on social media, and Marty, our floor director, probably shared it with me at one point, but it's something to the effect of, they tell us that government can't do anything to get the price of gasoline down, but government can fix climate change. They can fix the weather.
That's right.
The weather.
That's right. That's right.
Never gonna happen.
Well, by the way,
never gonna happen.
Did Putin die?
I don't know where he's been.
No, but I mean, have you seen him? I mean, is Putin dead yet? I mean,
well, there's a theory actually that he is.
Well, I don't know. He must be, because you know, I mean, he was the reason these gas prices rose.
Oh yeah, it was all his fault.
Yeah, and now down about 50, 60 cents. Well, then he must have died, right?
By the way, I noticed that it wasn't Joe's fault. It wasn't Joe's fault when the prices went up, but the recession in the prices down 50 some odd cents.
Oh yeah, well, Joe did that. Joe did that. Way to go, Brandon.
Yikes.
Come on, guys.
Come on, man.
This is all just so stupid that I can't even. It's a clown show.
Have you been checking out any of the Australian media? The Australian media skewer him.
Yeah,
I mean, they skewer him.
They hate him.
They have like at the end of their news programs a nightly roundup of the stupid stuff that our president has said, or the incomprehensible stuff that our president has said.
Yeah, the incomprehensible. You know. Now we're getting a countdown that we're like 10 seconds away from. You know,
Marty says we're all done, so
we appreciate it. Y'all stick around next week with us, and we love being with y'all.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
You've been listening to Fletch Nation with Roy Fletcher and Kevin Gallagher. Remember, if you heard something that ticked you off, upset your sensibilities, or threatened your precious safe space,
the opinions expressed by the hosts and guests are purely their own and do not reflect those of this radio station or its advertisers.
So if you're calling a lawyer, or planning a boycott, or a cancel campaign, forget about it and join us next week for more Fletch Nation.